We live in a world that tells us to move fast, speak louder, and make ourselves heard at all times. But what if I told you the opposite is true? What if the real power lies not in speaking, but in silence? Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who command respect the moment they walk into a room. They don't need to raise their voices. They don't need to prove themselves with constant words. They listen. They observe. And when they do speak, people listen. Silence is not about doing nothing. It's about creating space. Space to think, space to learn, and space to grow. Consider nature. A tree doesn't force itself to grow faster. A river doesn't push against its own flow. Everything in nature happens in its own time, in its own way. And yet we humans constantly fight against this natural rhythm, forcing results, chasing noise, and demanding instant answers. But the truth is, the best things in life come to those who are patient, to those who wait, to those who stay silent and trust the process. The greatest leaders aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who listen the best. The best ideas don't come from noise, they come from moments of stillness. And the most powerful voices aren't the loudest, they're the most intentional. So the next time you feel the urge to fill the silence with words, pause, listen, observe, because when you do, you'll realize that everything you seek, knowledge, success, clarity, was coming to you all along. Stay silent, trust the process, and watch how everything falls into place. Silence is often misunderstood. People associate it with weakness, passivity, or a lack of confidence. But in reality, silence is one of the greatest strengths a person can develop. It is a sign of control, of patience, and of deep self-awareness. In a world where everyone is trying to be heard, where voices compete for attention, and where speaking is often mistaken for authority, those who understand the power of silence stand apart. When a person remains silent in moments of chaos, they gain a unique advantage: the ability to observe, to listen, and to process information without distraction. While others are reacting impulsively, silence allows a person to slow down, to think critically, and to make decisions with clarity. It is in silence that the greatest insights emerge, not in the rush of spoken words. The ability to withhold a reaction, to stay composed when emotions run high, is not a sign of hesitation, but of discipline. Silence also gives a person control over their presence. When someone speaks less, their words carry more weight. People pay attention not because they demand it, but because they have created a space where their voice matters. The person who speaks only when necessary commands more respect than the one who fills every gap with noise. Beyond external perception, silence is also a source of inner strength. It creates room for reflection, for understanding one's own thoughts, emotions, and intentions. It allows for personal growth, fostering a deeper connection with oneself. In the absence of noise, a person can discover clarity, purpose, and direction. Many of the most powerful figures in history, whether leaders, thinkers, or revolutionaries, have recognized the value of silence. They knew that true strength is not in dominating a conversation, but in knowing when to stay quiet. Those who master this ability become unshakable, capable of withstanding challenges with composure and responding with wisdom instead of impulse. Observation is a skill that is often overlooked in a world that values speaking over listening, action over patience, and speed over depth. But the ability to observe, truly observe, is what separates those who merely exist from those who understand. It is the foundation of wisdom, creativity, and decision-making. When a person takes the time to notice details, they begin to see patterns that others miss. In conversations, they pick up on body language, tone, and subtle shifts in energy that reveal more than words ever could. In business, they recognize opportunities before they are obvious to everyone else. In relationships, they sense emotions that go unspoken, allowing them to connect with people on a deeper level. Observation is not just about looking at something, it is about truly seeing. It requires a person to slow down, to resist the urge to react immediately, and to take in information with an open mind. It means paying attention to the environment, to human behavior, to the way things move and change over time. It allows a person to navigate life with more precision, making choices based on reality rather than assumption. Great leaders, inventors, and artists have all relied on the power of observation. They see the world not just as it is, but as it could be. They notice the small problems that no one else is paying attention to, and in doing so, they find innovative solutions. They understand people deeply because they take the time to listen, to watch, and to understand before they act. Beyond external awareness, observation also strengthens self-awareness. By stepping back and observing their own thoughts, reactions, and behaviors, a person gains insight into who they are. They become more mindful of their own emotions, motivations, and patterns, which allows them to grow and improve. Observation, in many ways, is the first step to mastering oneself and the world around them. Listening is one of the most underrated skills in human interaction. In a world where people are eager to speak, to share their opinions, and to assert their viewpoints, the ability to listen sets individuals apart. It is the foundation of understanding, the key to strong relationships, and a crucial skill in leadership, communication, and personal growth. When a person listens rather than talks, they gain access to information that would otherwise be lost in the noise of constant speech. They hear not just words, but meaning, picking up on the emotions, intentions, and perspectives behind what is being said. A good listener does not simply wait for their turn to speak. They engage fully, absorbing the details, recognizing patterns, and gaining insight into the person speaking. This creates stronger connections, builds trust, and fosters an environment where people feel valued and heard. Listening also allows a person to respond with intention rather than reaction. When people focus too much on talking, they often rush into conversations without fully understanding the context. They prioritize their own voice over the collective understanding of the discussion. But those who listen first gain clarity. They recognize the nuances of a situation, making their words more precise and meaningful when they do choose to speak. Beyond personal relationships, listening is essential in leadership. The best leaders do not command attention by speaking the loudest. They earn respect by listening the most. They seek to understand before making decisions, ensuring that every perspective is considered. This ability to listen, process, and then act is what makes their leadership effective and enduring. Listening is also a powerful tool for learning. Every conversation, every interaction, and every piece of information holds potential value. Those who listen with curiosity and openness are constantly absorbing knowledge, refining their understanding and broadening their perspectives. While speaking may showcase what a person already knows, listening is what allows them to grow beyond their current knowledge and experiences. In many ways, the balance between listening and talking determines the depth of one's influence. Those who listen more than they speak gain wisdom, develop empathy, and build stronger, more meaningful connections in every aspect of life. Nature operates with a quiet intelligence, a rhythm that is neither rushed nor forced. Everything in the natural world happens in its own time, without resistance or struggle. Trees do not force themselves to grow faster, they stretch toward the sky at the pace set by the seasons. Rivers do not fight against their course, they carve their path over time, shaping landscapes effortlessly. The sun does not compete for attention, it rises and sets with consistency, providing light without demanding recognition. There is a deep wisdom in the way nature moves. It does not seek validation, nor does it compare itself to anything else. A flower does not look to another and think it must bloom sooner. It unfolds at the perfect moment, responding to the conditions around it. This natural patience, this acceptance of time and process, is something that humans often struggle with. In a world driven by urgency and constant striving, people forget that the most profound changes happen gradually. The lesson from nature is not just about patience, but also about adaptation. When storms come, trees do not resist, they bend with the wind so they do not break. When winter arrives, animals do not fight against it, they adjust, conserve energy, and prepare for the renewal of spring. Life in nature does not waste energy on unnecessary struggle, it moves with the flow, making changes when necessary, but never forcing what is not yet ready to happen. Observing nature teaches the importance of stillness. A calm lake reflects the sky clearly, but when disturbed, it becomes chaotic and unclear. The same is true for the human mind. When people are constantly moving, talking, and chasing, they lose the ability to see things as they are, but in moments of stillness, just like in nature, clarity emerges. There is also a lesson in resilience. A seed buried in darkness does not despair. It grows, reaching upward, trusting that one day it will break through the soil into the light. A caterpillar does not resist its transformation. It enters the cocoon, knowing instinctively that the process will lead to something greater. Nature does not rush, yet everything unfolds in perfect time. Patience is one of the most powerful yet underestimated virtues. In a world that constantly demands speed, immediate results, and instant gratification, patience feels like a forgotten art. People rush to achieve their goals, expecting success to come quickly, and when it doesn't, frustration sets in. But true progress whether in personal growth, relationships, or professional success, takes time. The greatest achievements in life are not the result of hurried actions, but of steady, persistent effort over time. Patience is not about inaction, it is about understanding the right timing. Just as a farmer does not dig up seeds to check if they are growing, a person must learn to trust the process, knowing that effort and consistency will yield results when the time is right. When people rush, they often miss the crucial moments of learning and development that come from the waiting period. Growth happens in the unseen moments, in the times when nothing appears to be changing. There is strength in patience, especially when facing challenges. Difficulties test resilience, and those who can endure setbacks with patience emerge stronger and wiser. Impatience leads to rash decisions, frustration, and wasted energy, while patience allows a person to navigate obstacles with a clear mind. It provides the ability to remain steady even when things are uncertain. Instead of forcing a solution, a patient person observes, adapts, and trusts that the right answers will come at the right time. Patience also plays a crucial role in relationships. People are complex, and deep connections take time to build. Rushing to conclusions, demanding immediate change, or expecting instant understanding often leads to conflict. But when patience is practiced, relationships have space to grow naturally, based on mutual understanding and trust. The best friendships, partnerships, and collaborations are those that have been nurtured over time. In creativity and innovation, patience is equally essential. Some of the greatest works of art, literature, and scientific discoveries took years, even decades, to develop. Ideas need time to mature, skills require consistent effort to refine, and true mastery is never achieved overnight. Those who are willing to invest time and effort without rushing the process are the ones who create lasting impact. Patience is the quiet confidence that everything is unfolding as it should. It is the ability to stay calm in the waiting, to trust in the unseen progress, and to remain committed even when results are not immediate. It is a skill that strengthens character, deepens wisdom, and ultimately leads to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Leadership is often associated with strong voices, powerful speeches, and the ability to command attention. But true leadership is not about who speaks the loudest. It is about who listens the most. Silence, when used effectively, becomes one of the greatest tools a leader can possess. It allows for thoughtful decision-making, empowers those around them, and creates an environment where trust and understanding can flourish. A leader who understands the power of silence does not rush to fill every gap with words. Instead, they create space for others to contribute, ensuring that every voice is heard. This fosters a culture of collaboration where people feel valued and empowered to share their ideas. When a leader remains silent and attentive, they gather insights, recognize patterns, and make decisions based on a complete picture rather than a partial perspective. Silence is also a sign of confidence. Leaders who do not feel the need to constantly assert themselves show that they trust their own judgment and the capabilities of their team. They do not react impulsively or let emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they take the time to process information, reflect on different viewpoints, and respond with clarity and intention. This level of composure sets a tone for the entire organization, creating a culture of stability rather than chaos. One of the most overlooked aspects of leadership is the ability to make others feel heard. When leaders are quick to speak, they risk shutting down valuable contributions from their team. But when they remain silent and listen deeply, they send a powerful message that what others have to say matters. This builds trust and loyalty, encouraging people to take ownership of their work and contribute with greater confidence. Silence also plays a crucial role in handling conflict and difficult conversations. A leader who remains silent in moments of tension allows emotions to settle before responding. They do not escalate situations with reactive words, but instead choose their responses carefully. This ability to pause and reflect before speaking prevents misunderstandings and leads to more constructive solutions. Great leaders know that silence is not absence, it is presence. It is the ability to be fully engaged without dominating the conversation. It is the discipline to hold back when necessary, to observe before acting, and to ensure that when they do speak, their words carry weight. By mastering silence, leaders cultivate wisdom, earn respect, and create an environment where real progress can happen. Inner stillness is a source of immense power, yet it is often overlooked in a world that equates strength with action and noise. True strength is not about force or aggression. It is about control, composure, and the ability to remain centered even in the face of chaos. Those who cultivate inner stillness develop an unshakable presence, a quiet confidence that commands respect without demanding it. When a person is internally still, they are not easily rattled by external circumstances. They do not react impulsively to challenges, nor do they allow fear or frustration to dictate their actions. Instead, they remain calm, observing situations with clarity before making a move. This ability to stay composed under pressure is what separates those who lead with wisdom from those who act out of impulse. Inner stillness also sharpens decision-making. When the mind is cluttered with unnecessary noise, worries, distractions, and external pressures, it becomes difficult to think clearly. But when a person cultivates stillness, they create space for deeper awareness and better judgment. They become more intentional with their actions, speaking only when necessary and acting only when the moment is right. This measured approach gives their words and actions greater impact. Beyond mental clarity, inner stillness fosters emotional resilience. Life is filled with challenges, uncertainties, and unexpected setbacks. Those who lack stillness are easily overwhelmed, reacting with stress and frustration. But those who have developed inner calm can navigate difficulties with a steady mind. They understand that storms pass, emotions fluctuate, and no situation is permanent. This ability to remain grounded makes them a source of stability for themselves and for those around them. Physical strength is often associated with power, but true strength comes from within. A person who is internally balanced exudes confidence without arrogance. Their presence alone can bring calm to a room, not because they impose authority, but because they embody a deep, quiet assurance. This kind of strength cannot be faked or forced. It is developed through self-awareness, discipline, and a commitment to staying centered despite external distractions. The ability to maintain inner stillness also enhances relationships. Those who are at peace with themselves do not seek validation from others, nor do they engage in unnecessary conflicts. They listen deeply, speak thoughtfully, and approach interactions with a sense of understanding rather than defensiveness. Their calm energy is felt by others, making them more trustworthy and dependable. Strength is not always about how much force a person can exert, it is about how much control they have over themselves. The strongest individuals are not the ones who dominate a room with noise, but the ones who remain calm in the face of adversity, steady in their decisions, and composed even when the world around them is chaotic. Inner stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the foundation upon which true outer strength is built. Trusting the process means having faith in the journey even when the path ahead is unclear. It is the understanding that growth, success, and transformation do not happen overnight but unfold over time. In a world that demands immediate results, it can be difficult to embrace patience and allow things to develop naturally. Yet, every meaningful achievement, every great breakthrough, and every profound change is a result of consistent effort, persistence, and trust. There are moments when progress seems invisible, when the effort being put in feels like it is leading nowhere. Doubt begins to creep in, and the temptation to quit or force results becomes strong. But just because something is not immediately visible does not mean it is not happening. Seeds grow beneath the soil long before they break through the surface. Muscles strengthen long before they visibly change. Knowledge deepens long before it is fully understood. Trusting the process means believing in this unseen progress, knowing that every small step contributes to something greater. Success is often not about taking giant leaps, but about showing up consistently. The greatest athletes, artists, and thinkers did not reach mastery overnight. They embraced repetition, endured setbacks, and kept going even when they saw little to no progress. They understood that excellence is built through steady, deliberate effort. When a person trusts the process, they let go of the anxiety that comes from wanting instant results and instead focus on what they can control: their actions, their mindset, and their persistence. Trusting the process also means accepting that failures and detours are part of the journey. There is no straight path to success. Setbacks are inevitable. But those who understand the value of the process do not see failure as an endpoint. They see it as feedback, as an opportunity to adjust and grow. Every mistake teaches something, every challenge strengthens resilience, and every delay often brings an unexpected lesson that would not have been learned otherwise. Doubt is a natural part of the journey, but trusting the process means moving forward despite it. It means recognizing that uncertainty does not mean failure. It simply means the outcome has not yet fully unfolded. It is the ability to embrace the unknown with confidence, knowing that the work being put in today will lead to results in the future. In any pursuit, whether personal or professional, those who succeed are not necessarily the ones who have everything figured out from the start. They are the ones who remain committed even when progress is slow. They trust that their efforts will compound over time, that the lessons learned along the way are shaping them, and that every experience, good or bad, is bringing them closer to where they are meant to be. Speaking is powerful, but not all words carry the same weight. In a world where people feel the need to constantly express themselves, fill silence with noise, and prove their presence through speech, the ability to speak only when it counts is a rare and valuable skill. True influence does not come from speaking often. It comes from speaking with purpose, with intention, and at the right moments. When a person speaks too frequently, their words lose significance. Constant talking can dilute meaning, turning speech into background noise rather than something worth paying attention to. But when someone chooses their moments carefully, people listen. Their words carry more weight because they have been measured, considered, and delivered with clarity. They do not speak to fill space, they speak to create impact. Speaking when it counts also requires deep listening. Those who are always focused on what they want to say next often miss what is actually being said. But those who truly listen absorb more, understand more, and respond with greater insight. They recognize the value of pausing, reflecting, and ensuring that when they do speak, it adds to the conversation rather than simply taking up space. This approach is especially crucial in leadership, decision-making, and conflict resolution. The most respected leaders do not dominate discussions with endless words. They observe, they listen, and when they do speak, they offer solutions, clarity, or a vision that moves things forward. In moments of tension, they do not react impulsively but choose their words with precision, ensuring that what they say de-escalates rather than inflames the situation. There is also strength in restraint. Speaking less does not mean lacking confidence. It means having enough confidence to know that not every thought needs to be spoken aloud. It means recognizing that silence can be more powerful than words, that listening can reveal more than talking ever could, and that well-timed speech commands far more respect than constant chatter. In personal relationships, speaking when it counts fosters trust and deeper connections. Thoughtful words, spoken with sincerity, are far more meaningful than a flood of unfiltered speech. People remember the things that are said with intention. A carefully chosen word of encouragement, an honest expression of feeling, or a moment of vulnerability has far greater impact than empty words spoken for the sake of speaking. Mastering the art of speaking when it counts is about discipline. It is about resisting the impulse to speak for validation, to react emotionally, or to fill silence unnecessarily. It is about understanding that timing, tone, and intention matter just as much as the words themselves. Those who develop this skill become voices of reason, sources of wisdom, and individuals whose words hold true power. In a world that often values noise over substance, speed over process, and constant motion over stillness, the true power lies in moments of silence, observation, patience, and restraint. As we navigate life, we are reminded that the most effective leaders, the most insightful thinkers, and the most resilient individuals are those who trust the process, speak when it counts, and understand that strength is found not in rushing or dominating, but in knowing when to pause and reflect. The art of listening, the wisdom of nature, and the ability to remain calm in the face of chaos. These qualities all center around one common theme: that true strength is quiet, deliberate, and deeply rooted in an understanding of oneself and the world around us. Patience, observation, and silence are not signs of weakness, but tools for building greater clarity, deeper connections, and more impactful actions. By embracing these practices, we move beyond the surface noise and find a deeper sense of purpose and direction. We learn to trust the journey, to embrace growth, and to speak and act with intention. In doing so, we not only become stronger individuals, but also contribute to a world that values thoughtfulness, wisdom, and true progress.